your host, Joshua Church.
Hey, everybody, and Merry Christmas. Christmas season is upon us. And I decided that this year, being that this year's been pretty much the first full year of doing this little show of ours, I figured, why not make it special and do something more for Christmas? So I thought, why not do a 12 Days of Christmas kind of special? Now, my criteria for this, I feel like I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I want to talk about Christmas and I want to, have something to talk about. I'm not going to talk about the stuff that, we always associate with Christmas as far as like media. I felt like I was like, well, maybe I'll take a stab at things that maybe are lesser appreciated or put on the back burner for some reason or another because it's not National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, it's not Home Alone, not those things. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer animated, or stop motion special, all these things that are just like all the time, every Christmas for a lot of people. So I felt like I would tackle subjects and things that maybe weren't normally talked about. So the first one that we're going to do is I'm going to talk about the Christmas Story Christmas sequel to A Christmas Story. So this is a movie that came out a couple of years ago, so it's pretty recent. And it's a better sequel than pretty much every Christmas movie, in my opinion. Home Alone 2 is pretty decent, but it's just Home Alone 1, again, in New York. It's a classic 90s thing of, in the big city. It's like the same thing. It's like, we're going to just put it in New York. And it just tends to be a thing they do a lot. Now, Christmas Story had a couple of sequels over the years. They're all horrible, horrible, atrocious films that I just can't watch in good faith. The Christmas Story, for people who haven't watched it, which you should, because, it's a classic, but you also, if you had, I think it's TBS or TNT that plays it all day on Christmas, which I think is crazy, but they do it. It's been on the background somewhere where you've had Christmas, more than likely. But it's a classic for a reason. It's a fantastic movie. It's fun, it's cute, it's told from the kid's perspective, and it's mostly just about, a kid wanting something for Christmas really bad and thinking that he wasn't going to get it and having to go through that kind of kid emotion of wanting that toy that they really wanted. And, just the creativity of Ralphie's mind going in and out of scenarios and thinking it wasn't going to happen. And then, of course, that magnificent moment when the dad, was listening the whole time and knew and got it anyway, even though his mom was like, "You'll shoot your eye out." And, it's a great movie. Stands the test of time. Still, I love it. I watch it every year. Now, Christmas Story, Christmas, the sequel, does something I think is important. I think it's something that doesn't get done a lot when it comes to holiday movies. And sequels, legacy sequels sometimes. A good example of how not to do it would be, a show like the 70s Show, right? They did the sequel show. They focused on the kids, again. And then said, oh, we'll still have Kitty and Red there, and the kids will be there, but they'll be in and out. But we're mostly focusing on the kids. And it's like, well, nobody cares about them. You're not invested. So, of course, it's not a legacy sequel that matters. Yeah, you get some of the other characters as background characters here and there, but it doesn't work. Christmas Story Christmas decides to do the thing that I actually love, which is to say, well, if you watched this when you were younger, then you grew up with these characters. You were kids when you watched it, and you obviously understood the kid perspective. And that's why the whole movie follows the children. And then when you get older, And you can watch it again, you see it from the parent's perspective, but still it's told in the kid's perspective. Now, the sequel decides to do the thing of, no, we're following those characters. So it's going to be, instead of being about the kids and what they want for Christmas and all of that, it's going to be about Ralphie still, but as an adult, and his experience of coming home and, his father passing away and the emotions of that, and it being so tied to Christmas because of how his father came through for him in the original movie and probably many Christmases. And so it makes it about him fulfilling the same role and, his experience that year and reconnecting with friends and all that kind of stuff that happens when you go back home, and his whole chase of wanting to be a writer. And then it does another thing that's really great, which is it made the movie about the same thing in a way, because it still focused on the emotion of family and love and connection and really centered on that loss. And by the time you get to the end of the movie, it does what most good Christmas movies do, which is to get you to feel something. And especially if you've had parental loss, it's very, solid for that. But the movie focuses on that aspect. And then does this another great thing, which is to connect it to the original in another way of, well, the original had this arcing kind of voiceover by Ralphie as an adult. And then it makes that part of the story and says, okay, Ralphie wrote that. And that A Christmas Story was his writing and that we experienced that. So it's cool. You can kind of either watch the movie before watching A Christmas Story or you can watch it after. And then it's kind of perfect for that. But to me, it's become a new Christmas classic. It's become something I watch every year. And I love it. I mean, like I said, I still hold it up as, one of those movies that's the best Christmas sequel to a Christmas classic that's happened yet. There is no other, there is no other good example, I think, outside of Home Alone 2. And even that is a lesser movie than Home Alone. To me, and I guess it's coming from an adult now who grew up with those movies, but I see Christmas Story as, like, it's good, but A Christmas Story Christmas is better to me as a movie. So yeah, I highly recommend it. If it's something you didn't catch and you didn't know they made it, then you should watch it. If it's something you've only watched once, I'd say you put it in your yearly rotation. It should be in there. It's a good movie. It gets my stamp of approval, and it is my first on the journey of our 12 Days of Christmas here on the Movie Dog Show. So I will see you soon with the next one, and I hope you guys have a great holiday and enjoy your family, and see you soon. Thanks. Hey, like and subscribe. Be sure to check out more of the content on the Movie Dogs channel. All the reviews and cool remarks and cool guests like me, Josh Church, the owner of River Monster Comics. We are in Dunnellon, Florida, so if you're ever in the area, come by and check out the shop. Get some cool nerd stuff, comics, pops, toys, whatever. And swing by and just have some cool conversations about movies and all things pop culture. We appreciate you. See you soon.